family. Thank you once again for joining us this week on Living Your Life Without Limits. My name is Shannon Jackson, your resident host, and I'm happy to be with you today to talk about a subject that is near and dear to my heart. We are coming live in Third Wheel Studio today, this Saturday morning, and we're talking about self-care, which is something that affects everyone. I know myself, as well as many of you that are watching, this is a subject that you've heard about. But today we want to talk about what does that mean? Because we're live, you will have an opportunity at the end if you want to text in to us through our YouTube channel to comment or ask questions. We will welcome it and open up that space. But we're living in a time right now with the COVID-19 and all the different issues that are going on in the world, from racial injustice to economic challenges. It is so important that we take care of ourselves. And when I'm talking about taking care of ourselves, it is from mental to physical, emotional, and every area of our life. So what exactly is self-care? Well, here's my definition of self-care. Self-care is the essence in being mindful of taking time to pay attention to you. In other words, putting you first. Not in a narcissistic way, but in a way that ensures that you are caring for yourself, which is managing your daily stress and living your best life with intention that you are a priority. So I came up with a few things that I want us to explore as it relates to self-care. And as I said to you when I started this, it is very, very important because I know as a healthcare provider and as a mom, as a wife, and many of you can relate, whether you're husbands, whether you're CEOs, whether you're in leadership, whether you're essential care workers, or just a person that's always giving. Oftentimes, we put others and their needs before us where we just tap out. And when we tap out, there's consequences to tapping out, where it can have physical consequences. And as I started with this episode, in this COVID-19 environment, it is very, very important that we take care of ourselves and that we're mentally strong. But most importantly, to combat this virus, you have to be in the physical condition, along with the other things like washing your hands, wearing a face mask, social distancing. But physically, your underlying body has to be well. So here are some of the things that I wanted to talk about as it relates to self-care. The first thing that I wanted to identify is know your limitations. That is so important, family, that we recognize we're not superheroes. We're not superwoman and we're not supermen. Although we have good intentions and we want to be there for everybody, we want to be the best employee, we want to be the best boss, we want to be the best family member, we have to know ourselves. We have to understand our weaknesses, our strengths, and our limitations, and move within that space. Because oftentimes what happens is we will get to a place where we're taking and taking and taking, or allowing other people's needs, demands, and expectations of us, that we pour so much into that, we internalize it, and we don't identify our own triggers. We don't heed to the triggers that cause us to become exhausted, frustrated, harbor animosity, or just pretty much let ourselves go. So we have to know our limitations and be okay with operating in there, understanding the power of no and stop. So whether it's your job, whether it's even your family, or even within your own confines, that you take a minute and pause and say, wait a minute, I have to reprioritize. Or having a conversation. at work or having a conversation with loved ones. Okay, what's the priority? I need a moment, or I'm or expressing how you're feeling and understanding what's triggering you. Many times we hide that and we conceal it, especially with people that are in positions of authority. Oftentimes we don't want to show weakness or say, hey, I'm burnt out, or I'm frustrated, or I need a moment, or I'm lonely, or I'm whatever I'm feeling. So it's important that you own that, but also set boundaries to know you need to step away from something, to get time to identify and be proactive in addressing triggers. And guess what? It's individual. What triggers you or triggers someone else is very, very different. But we have to learn the power of stepping back. And I could sit here for an hour or more and just stay on this subject about triggers, or allowing others to drive us when we know it is putting us in compromising situations. So it's very, very important to know your limitations, physically and mentally in particular. Where is your breaking point and what are your triggers? And push that pause button or have that conversation with individuals that may be asking more of you than you're able to handle at that moment. So what's another one? Getting enough sleep and rest in your sleep. I can tell you, I am definitely one of the ones who is in recovery on sleep. The CDC, which is the Center of Disease and Control, recommends that all adults between the age of 18 and 60 get at least 7 hours or more of sleep a night. And if you're over the age of 60, 7 to 9 hours. Now, many people say, but I don't need all of that, Shannon. And it's not just getting the hours, it's the quality of sleep. So if you're a person that really feels that you don't need that many hours, even though that's what the Center of Disease Control recommends, it's the quality of sleep. Actually getting in a place of REM and restful sleep, where you're literally turning off your brain. And oftentimes we'll get in the bed, and if anybody agrees with this, send us a YouTube comment. That will get in the bed and sometimes and lay and toss and turn or still be thinking. And it takes time for us to unwind. But what I'm talking about is literally shutting your mind down and allowing your body to sleep and recover. And sometimes it could be a medical condition why you're not sleeping. Oftentimes when people have snoring and other issues, they may need a sleep apparatus to support them, a BiPAP machine or a CPAP machine. You might need to be examined and have a condition that's a sleep disorder that is causing you not to get enough oxygen and not have enough rest in your sleep and may need further evaluation medically. So it's important to take those steps and get a consultation from your physician, and maybe they will look at if there's something that can be given to you to help you get better sleep. But sleep is essential. We need our bodies and our minds to zone out and literally shut down. So sometimes, again, I'm in recovery of this, but I'm doing much better than what I was before. But sometimes I've had to just turn the TV off, shut everything down, and allow myself to rest and go into sleep. Because it's not just the hours, it's the quality of how you're sleeping. That's very important. So what is another one? You hear this all the time, food. But having a balanced diet that feeds you with the energy that you need to go throughout the day. Making sure you have a healthy nutritional balance, that you have the nourishment and the energy to fuel you. Not just charged up on sugar and high energy drinks that oftentimes we use to get through the day, but eating a healthy, balanced diet that will give you that nourishment, but also sustain you throughout the course of your day. So diet plays an important part of all of our lives. Family, you see me now, but I used to be over 100 pounds than what I am now. I weighed over 100 pounds than what you see now. Matter of fact, I kid people all the time I'm aging backwards because I said I should have found a picture and I didn't get it in time to put up to show you how I looked before than how I look now. 100 pounds plus more than what I am now. And I was younger. So I'm not telling you something that I'm not practicing myself. And as I said, when I started this off as a healthcare provider, as a mom, recently 2 years ago, a wife, a family member, giving so much to everybody, I was neglecting myself. And I was just taking on everybody's thing and sometimes working 20 hours a day because I was in an executive leadership role and on call and working 7 days a week. And I had to make some choices for my own health and for my own mental stability. And actually, this is how Living Your Life Without Limits became birthed. It started with me. And I made it my mission to begin to spread this information that everyone, I don't care, black, white, whatever creed, color, sexuality, nationality, you deserve to be a priority in your life. And that's why we bring these messages and information to inform you, to motivate you, and educate you to be your best version. So imagine what you see me now at age 50. I was over 100 pounds in this picture. I think I'm going to, in one episode, bring a before and after picture. I didn't have time to bring it today, but I'm definitely going to bring it so that you can see what I'm talking about because I'm speaking my own truth here, taking my own medicine. So what else is there? Self-care also means, by definition, understanding to decompress. Understanding it is important for you to dial back. Taking time to let things go. Clearing your mind, clearing your thoughts, stealing away. Taking time to enjoy you and unwind. And that means something different for every individual. But each of us, living and breathing, should have something or some way we take time to decompress, let go, release. Allowing yourself and your mind to just come down. And whatever that is for you, some people it's meditation. Some people it's walking. Some people it's just being still. Some people it's sports. Some people it's listening to music. Some people it's arts and crafts. I'm not telling you what that is. I'm telling you have something. It is important that you take time to steal away for just you, where you decompress, not worrying about what anybody is thinking, not worrying about what they want, their needs, but feeding and refueling yourself. And be consistent in that. I personally believe we need it every day. Because if we have that, you can then reflect and renew and take that time that you can then, when you come into interaction with someone, you're not as anxious or frustrated. Ask yourself, have you ever been so stressed out and as soon as you wanted to come in the house or as soon as you walked in, everybody started with the need list. Gimme, gimme, gimme. And somebody said something and it just set you off. Is anybody attesting to this? Does anybody want to be real? Send me a YouTube comment. It's happened. And you like, why in the world did that trigger me? Because it wasn't that. That person got you where you were at the end of it. Or have you been on the brunt of that? Maybe you strong like that. And you've never had that moment where somebody came at the wrong time and it really wasn't what they said, but you had had enough and that thing just set you off. Or maybe you was on the brunt of that for someone else. They had a bad day and they took it out on you. Or the boss was in a bad place and they came and just let off and unloaded to everybody. Or you went to the store and it had nothing to do with you, but you met that person at a time where everything had gotten on their nerves and they were full and you just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's because we don't take the time to decompress. This is how frustration happens, arguments happens, the incidents happen where things, a simple thing go right, where somebody is in a place mentally, they're not all together there, they're not thinking rationally, there's frustration and anger, bitterness, or whatever is emotionally going on with them, and that meets someone else and it comes into a combustible situation and out of control. It's important that we decompress. It's important that we dial it back and take a moment so that when we interact, we're clear in our judgment, we're clear in our exchange, and we're coming from a place, even if we're confronting, not in anger and frustration, but voicing our concerns, our complaints, or our disagreements, or even voicing our support without the frustration. So it's very, very important because nowadays everybody is on edge. Or shall I say, many people are on edge. And the littlest thing that should be something simple is setting people off like rockets. Because people aren't decompressing. They're not in taking care of themselves. And they're allowing all of the energy that's being put out there, negativity and their own frustrations, boil up. And it's a boiling pot spilling over. So you cannot control, and I cannot control others. But what we absolutely have to understand, we own self-care. Don't look for others to be the one that define self-care for you. It is important that you define self-care, but understand it is taking the necessary steps to make you and continue to make you whole, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and ultimately physically. So it's important. And you own that. All right. This is another one that's tough. Self-care also requires that we make tough decisions and changes in our life that are ultimately going to cause our demise. Too many times we delay decisions or go along with things that are really not good for us, but we don't want to hurt others. We stay in situations, relationships, conditions because we don't want to hurt others, or we're fearful to make changes because of the unknown. But it's important that we self-reflect and take inventory in our life to evaluate where I am and the choices that I've made up to this point. Are they helping me or are they hurting me? Where I am at this point, what decisions do I need to make that I haven't made that will improve my overall health, improve my overall mental and physical state? So important. Self-love requires that we rid ourselves of things and habits and conditions that is ultimately going to bring about an early demise, whether it be an untimely death or keeping us in a situation or a mental state that is unhealthy for us. And we have to own that. And it's hard and painful. sometimes to look in the mirror or look in our life and make these decisions and choose to let things go or choose to create more healthier habits, healthier thoughts, healthier behaviors in our life. But we have to do it. We have to do it. It is important for our overall welfare. And ultimately, if we love others, we first have to love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, meaning taking care of ourselves, we can then reach out and pour out and be a greater support to others. But until then, we really are half, and we really can't give them the best version of ourselves. I mentioned this earlier, and I'm just going to repeat it a little bit more. Self-care requires, again, for us to identify those triggers. Understanding our own strengths and weaknesses and moving towards positive changes. Also, self-care requires you to do things that you enjoy, that brings joy to your heart, that will relax you, that cause you to find meaning and purpose and hope. Make sure you incorporate that on a routine basis. And I know with being in isolation right now and states shutting down more and self-quarantine, it's very, very difficult to maybe some things that you would normally do to bring about that enjoyment and pleasure, and you have to now find alternative ways. But it's so important that you live now and find moments of pleasure. Because there's so much, when you listen to the news and you see everything that's going on, it's so much violence, it's so much anger, it's so much injustice, it's just so much hurt and so many tragedies that are happening. It is creating a lot of emotional depression or anxiety and fear. But it's important that you find a healthy balance in that, to find moments of pleasure and joy. And go after it. Don't let today's challenges become an internal place where you foster that and don't live your life. Even in the midst of all of this, find hope. Find joy. Live in the moment of gratitude, because tomorrow is not promised to none of us. Be thankful and replace some of all of that with positivity in your life and positive energy in your life. And love on yourself. And see the good even in all of this and where you are. If you can still eat your own food, that's a blessing. If you can still walk, even though you may be contained to where you go, the fact that you can still breathe, good God Almighty, is a blessing. Because there's people in the hospital, including my own family, that say, I wish I can breathe. If I could just get my breath right now. Where it feels like a load of bricks is on their chest. That's something to be grateful for. So find joy in the simplest things in life. And the final thing that I want to say is feed yourself spiritually. Feed yourself spiritually. And that means different things to different people. But you have to find something to feed your soul. so that your soul is not empty and craving, whether it's meditation, whether it's silence, whether it's prayer, whether it's walking, whether it's deep breathing, whatever that might be to you. You need to feed your inner soul so that you can continue to go through everything that's going on and love on yourself. We live in a time today that social media is good and it can also be bad. It's a two-edged sword because nowadays people will attack you if they don't agree with you and flood you. And sometimes that can become an emotional pressure for people to live up to others' expectations and live up to what people view as beautiful or what people view as good. And what I am trying to tell us, family, don't let others' view of you define you. Your view of you should matter to you more than what others view. Because if you love you, you're going to do everything within your life to make the necessary changes to be the best version of you. When you can be the best version of you, you can give society more. You can give quality out because you love you. And you are fearfully and beautifully made. However you look externally, you are beautiful. And our differences make us unique. Whether you have blonde hair or long hair or bald hair, like I do. It's mine. But it makes you beautiful. So loving yourself, how you are, and taking care of yourself is more important and ultimately will give you more peace living in your own truth. Because then you'll begin to make the changes you need to make to be the better version of yourself. So this is where I wanted to leave today. Self-care. I am still in recovery on it, but I'm well better than where I was. And I'm determined to continue to live my life without limits and be the best version of myself so that I can bring that information to you and everyone that I come across. And I'm challenging you today to make you a priority. I say that same thing to my own family and loved ones. And right now, my own mother is in the hospital fighting for her life. And we're praying and believing God that she will be healed and recovered. But before she got to that point, I used to tell her, Mom, it's time that you live your life and take care of you and not give everything out to the needs and the wishes of others. And I believe that when she comes out of this, she'll have that aha moment that everything I was talking about was true. Family, I can give it out to you. But just like medication, if the doctor gives you an antibiotic because you got a UTI, which is a urinary tract infection, an infection in your bladder, and you don't take the medication, it's not going to go away. Guess what? The UTI that was untreated becomes something that goes in the bloodstream that can ultimately come into sepsis that causes another complication. So it's just like self-care. If you do not put yourself first and make sure you take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, it's not going to get better. Your trajectory will not be going this way. It will be going that way. And I want each and every one of us to go this way. You deserve it. So is there any comments on there? Do we have any comments?
Tons. Yeah.
I want to hear from some of you. Am I saying anything that's resonating? Or am I off base today?
No, we got tons.
Okay,
Alina
talk
Bradley
to me.
said, good morning, LYL family. Daniel Alvilar said, good morning, world. Just a lot of people coming in saying what's up. Alina said, and this is a while back, but more times than I should have. I think she was talking about something back when but yeah, people are feeling it. We got claps from Monjay 1000. A lot of people are coming in and feeling what you're saying.
Well, thank you, family. I appreciate all of you. I love you. And anything that I can bring in information, I'm doing it because I want us whole and I want to be honest. And I want to tell you a couple of things that we're doing to continue to spread this good news. In the month of August, Living Your Life Without Limits has created a special wellness box that I'm giving away 50 of them. And it's going to have blood pressure machines in them, thermometers, information. I don't even tell you all that's in them, but I personally put this together and we're going to give them away free. And we're going to be located at a location. We're going to be announcing it on our social media. And the first 50 people come in, we're going to give them out. Because I want you to have this information and continue to take care of yourself. We're also in the midst of revising our website, where I'm opening up some free information and free videos for you. And if you subscribe or open a free account, you're going to get information that you don't see on the regular channel, that we're going to drop knowledge to you and special gifts and special videos and images that will help you continue your journey, or you'll be able to hit us up. So we have kicked in my team. I want to thank LaRonda. I want to give a special shout out to Barry, Cantor, all of the people that's working within Living Your Life Without Limits, my team, because our goal is to bring this information to you unfiltered and let you know we are standing with you and going to continue to speak this to you till you get it and get on board. So follow us on our YouTube channel. Stay connected. If you like this that you're hearing today, please click the subscribe button if you haven't. Share. Get people on board to the Living Your Life Without Limits team. We are a giving station. We send out secret gifts to our top people. Follow us on our Facebook or our Instagram because we are here for you. And as I'm closing this, as I always say, family, remember to love yourselves. Take care of yourself. Because guess what? You are worth it. You matter. It's not what others say about you. It's what you believe you are. And from this day forward, I want you to make self-care a commitment that when you get up, you say, today, I'm going to make sure I'm loving on me. Whatever I do, I'm going to make sure I'm taking time out for me because I deserve it. And I don't care if your time out is basketball, is sports, is games, whatever it might be. But you take time for you and love on you and don't let nobody define who you are and tell you you're not worth it. You are worth it. You're worth your investment in you. Thank you once again for joining us this week. And please make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Because guess what? We're just getting started. Thank you again. Any other, before we sign off, any questions, any comments that I should know about?
Yeah, Alina came in here and just said prayers for your mother, Shannon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And for everyone that's praying for my mom or don't know, she's in ICU right now under doctor's care, and we're believing God that he's going to give her a miracle. But I had a commitment. And this commitment was to come here and tell you the importance. Because one thing that I've been talking to my mom about, my dad died this year, July 25th, 2019. So this month alone is very, very significant to my family. And my mother was in a deep grief and depression. And in that, I want you to know you're loved, but it's important that you take care of you. Even in your depression, seek the help, embrace the help, embrace the changes to get better so that you can have the energy and drive to say no when you need to say no, and then to make the necessary changes that you need to do. God bless you all over the world. We have people in other countries. And the men, thank you for riding with me on Living Your Life Without Limits. The men watch this show more than the ladies. Ladies, I don't know what's going on with you, but the men is holding me down. Thank you for holding me down, men. And our subscribership is going up. I think we're over 4,000, and we just started in January. So we're very excited about that. Thank all of you for watching, and God bless you all.
Keep your vision real tight, then your future be bright until the finish line.